I started music when I was about 11 years old. At school we used to have to write this diary, and what we did last night, we used to draw a little picture, and me and my mate Charlie used to play groups, as we called it, like people would play football. We'd go in this front room, we'd turn the biscuit tins upside down, get the knit needles out for drums. He had a piano there, a beatable guitar, and we used to play at groups. The first band was called Adamant Chub. We got the name from Lord of the Rings, one of the characters in Lord of the Rings. How cool is that? And this was in 1975. Then Adamant Chub split up and I joined a soul band called Erection. I learnt how to play on stage with that group. Then in February '77, I left Erection when punk was happening, and I wanted to get a punk band together, and we got Blitzkrieg Bop together. We toured with Blitzkrieg Bop. We supported Slaughter and the Dogs on a tour. When Blitzkrieg Bop split up, I had a band called, I was in a band called Bass Axe, and we toured with Orchestral Manoeuvres in the Dark. And we released records with Joy Division. When I was in Blitzkrieg Bop, I was the front man. So I'd be doing the singing, having to leap about and actually put on a show. And then when I was in Bass Axe, straight afterwards, all I was the keyboard player. And there was a singer out front doing everything that I used to do. And it was actually quite a relief just to take a step back, be at the side of the stage and not be, you're not worried about making a bum note or everything, because the guy up front was the one who everyone was looking at. The first album I did was with my third band, Makaton Chat, and that was great fun. I mean, one of the problems we had was we didn't have a guitarist, but we had a lot of guitar parts on the songs. Luckily, the producer, Roy Neve, was a very good guitar player. That was in 1983, and it was great fun. The fact that we actually did an album was like a real milestone, and you used to dream about these things, so when it actually happened, it was a bit of a letdown, really. You get to about age 27, 28, when you realise you're not going to be a rock star, and you think, right, okay, I'm married, got kids, I'm not going to be a rock star, so I'll just do it for myself now rather than worry about being a star. It's only since the internet's come along, really, in the noughties and that, in the last 5-10 years, where things have been possible online, where you can actually set something up. So I set up the Teesside Band Archive. It tends to be more of a repository for things. So if people wanted to link a YouTube video of a song they did live, or if they wanted to link some songs on SoundCloud, we do it that way. And the podcasts came out of that. I was just driving along one day and had this idea of, well, I've got a studio here, why don't I get bands in, interview them for maybe half an hour, do a 3 or 4 song acoustic session and put that together and stick it out. And it really took off. I started selling records in 2006, and it came about because I lost my job and I suddenly had to pay the bills. So I started to sell a few of my own records that I had, and in the first month I'd got £6,000. I took it from there and I started buying records in, and we had to think of a name for the business, and me and my son were on Skype one night brainstorming, and it was like Shiny Vinyl, Vinyl Shine, Vinyl Shrine. There was a DJ, a BBC DJ, who emigrated to Hong Kong and for 30 years, and he came back and said to me, I've got 11,000 records that I've had in cold storage since 1980. Do you want to sell them for me? So that became where I was selling on his behalf for commission rather than buying them off him and selling them myself. That aspect of the business has actually grown now, where it's probably 80% of my turnover is where I'm selling on behalf of other people. Some years are better than others. I think the last couple of years have been a bit less busy than previously, but a lot depends on the stock I get in. So if I get a really good collection in that's got some really good stuff, I know I can sell, then business goes up. But as long as I pay the bills, I'm happy. So, you know, it does. So I am. So there. If you're buying something like vinyl, you've got to kind of trust that you're going to get what you pay for. If you're buying like a widget, like a box of something, you know you're going to get that. But with vinyl, it can be in different condition. You've got to have trust, and that's the main thing I try and give people. We're still earning money, you know, we're still getting results today. I've got albums coming out, you know, with old tracks on now. Good old vinyl. And there's been a couple of these. There's another one coming out from Sweden and a couple of singles in Japan. So there's a lot of interest in the band even today, it's just 35 years later. It's nice to know that you're still being listened to.